Nobody wakes up one morning and realizes they've wasted years. It happens so slowly that it feels completely normal. One more day, one more excuse. Tomorrow. I'll wake up early. Tomorrow. I'll start exercising. Tomorrow. I'll finally work on my dream. Tomorrow. My life will finally begin. Every tomorrow you waited for eventually became today. And somehow, today became another. I'll start tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow isn't a day. Maybe it's a place where dreams go to hide. By the end of this video, you'll never hear the words, "I'll start tomorrow," the same way again. The truth is, tomorrow doesn't fool you. It comforts you. It quietly tells you, you don't have to start today. You can always start tomorrow. And that's a comforting thought. Until tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. Here's what's interesting. Every time you said, "I'll start tomorrow," you believed it. You weren't making an excuse. You were making a promise. And that's exactly why it's so hard to break, because it never feels like you're giving up. It feels like you're simply waiting. Just one more day. But one more day has a strange way of becoming one more week, one more month, sometimes even one more year. And before you realize it, waiting no longer feels like a choice. It becomes a habit, because habits don't begin the moment you repeat an action. Sometimes they begin the moment you repeat an excuse, and that's where the real problem begins. Because the biggest battle isn't against tomorrow, it's against the way your brain sees tomorrow. And that's where the real story begins. Here's the part nobody sees. While you're waiting, life isn't. Every day you postpone, someone else begins, someone learns, someone improves, someone takes the first step. You were planning to take tomorrow, not because they're more talented, not because they're luckier. They simply started. And while you're waiting, the world doesn't slow down. Opportunities don't pause, time doesn't stop, life keeps moving. That's why waiting feels so harmless. Nothing dramatic happens, no alarm goes off, no warning appears. Everything looks exactly the same. Until one day, you look around and wonder, how did everyone get so far ahead? The truth is, they didn't move faster, they just stopped waiting sooner. And every ordinary day quietly added something to the bill. So what exactly is that bill? Every time you choose tomorrow, you make a trade. Most people never notice it, because it doesn't cost you money, it doesn't cost you anything, at least not today. Instead, it gives you something. Comfort. You don't have to take the first step, you don't have to face the discomfort. For a moment, it feels like a good deal. Maybe that's why tomorrow sounds so convincing. It never asks you to give up your dream. It only asks you to wait one more day. And one day never feels dangerous. That's what makes it so powerful, because every trade has a price. The difference is, you don't pay it today, you pay it later, one tomorrow at a time. And that's why this trade feels so harmless. Because by the time the bill arrives, you don't even remember making the trade. The strange thing is, the bill doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives quietly, while you're busy waiting. And before you even notice, something else has already begun to change. So what exactly is the bill? It isn't money, it isn't time, it's the life you never got to live. Maybe it wasn't the gym, maybe it was that business idea, that book, that conversation, that skill you always wanted to learn, that dream you've been carrying for years. The dream doesn't matter, because almost every dream hides behind the same sentence. I'll start tomorrow. At first, it feels harmless. One missed workout, one unfinished page, one delayed phone call, one postponed idea. You're right. None of those moments change your life by themselves. The problem is, tomorrow is almost never. Just one day. It quietly becomes another, and another, until one day, you realize you weren't waiting for the right moment. You were waiting for a life that never had the chance to begin. And that's the real cost. Not losing a dream, never discovering the person you could have become. But here's the beautiful part. As long as today is here, your story isn't over. The answer was never a better tomorrow. It was always a different today. You don't need more motivation, more confidence, or the perfect moment. Because if tomorrow has taught us anything, it's that waiting, never creates the life you want. Beginning does. You only need one beginning, one decision, one small step. Because no dream has ever started. Tomorrow. Every book, every business, every healthy life, every meaningful change began on a day that was called today. Maybe that's why tomorrow never comes, because every tomorrow eventually becomes today. The only difference is what you choose to do with it. One day you'll wake up, just like every other day. The only difference is one day you'll stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow," because tomorrow always becomes today, but today only becomes your future. When you choose to begin. Tomorrow never changed anyone's life. Today always did.